Hello and welcome to my first ever Twisted video. Unfortunately, the audio deleted itself for some reason, so I'm just basically going to be doing a voiceover this whole time. Celebrating 100 million visits, Twisted did a very special high-risk only day. So that basically means mostly every tornado in this video that I'm chasing is going to be very powerful with wind speeds upwards of 140 miles an hour. I spawned my TIV 2 and got ready to intercept this tornado. I drive parallel to the tornado instead of driving directly into the tornado. If I drove directly into the tornado, I would not have enough time to deploy or put any of my probes down. So that is why I'm driving parallel to it to hopefully get in front of it for a perfect interception. I'm looking at the tornado and not paying attention and slam into this car at 100 miles an hour. I stopped right here because I thought the tornado was coming for me, but then I realized if I went up a little bit further north, then I would have a better chance at intercepting this tornado. I judge very closely to make sure that I actually do want to go north and turn onto that other road to hopefully get a better interception. And I finally decide, yes, I do want to go on the other road to hopefully get a very good interception. As I come around this curve, I realize I'm not going to make it, and I decide to punch it through the tornado. Just as I pop out of this tornado, I clip at the edge of a tree. I make a right-hand turn to get in front of the tornado and hopefully get an awesome interception. Believe it or not, it actually worked. Right here, I'm questioning if I actually do want to deploy right here or go a little bit further north. I decide the second option and drive a little bit further north. I miscalculate my turn and accidentally drive into the grass. I realize the tornado is practically already over the road, so I turn around and keep driving north. I thought I learned from my mistake by turning early, but no, that was actually a very, very bad idea. I check the map to see what direction the tornado is moving in, but once I close the map, I see this car flying across the road. I think to myself, the tornado must have a huge wind field. I stop right here because I realize the tornado is going to hit right in this area. I jump out, place my probes down, but I realize one of the probe placements actually wasn't too great, so I run a little bit over this way and place my probe down. The last second decision of moving my probe was one of the best decisions I've ever had in Twisted. It aligned it more with the center of the tornado instead of the edge of the tornado. My car got absolutely pounded by the tornado, but luckily my probe placements were absolutely perfect and I made thousands of dollars off of them. By the end of the tornado, the wind speeds were very close to hitting 140 miles an hour. I pick up my probes and undeploy and get ready for the second attempt at chasing this powerful tornado. Since the audio deleted itself, all I was doing at this moment was yapping about how slow the TIV-2 is to deploy and undeploy. After the ridiculously long undeployment time of the TIV-2, I finally get back on the road and get a second chance to chase this tornado. I go onto the radar to check the velocity of this tornado. I thought the tornado was going to be way more powerful than what it was, but still very powerful. At this moment, I realized that the tornado was actually kind of de-intensifying, but later on, I actually realized that was just a very brief de-intensification. I have not learned from my mistake, and I tried to turn sharp again, and obviously that didn't go very well. I got my deployment system ready just in case I need to deploy early. Right here, I've realized I've completely missed the tornado until I actually realized it's coming directly for me. And yes, the re-intensification was very true. It re-intensified to have wind speeds upwards of 140 miles per hour. Right here, I am spending way too much time to turn around. I don't really know why I didn't just drive through the grass. Once again, I look at the velocity of the tornado. For the first time ever, my sharp turn actually worked. As I approach this Dominator, I see him stopped. I realized this is probably going to be a pretty good spot to deploy, but what I didn't realize, the Dominator had different plans. He drove a little bit further the other way, and his deployment area was way better than mine. I look at the velocity of this tornado and realize basically this tornado is dead. So this was going to be my last interception of the first tornado. I know what you're going to be saying in the comments. This tornado interception was a fail. I know, but the wind speeds in the tornado were probably not very high anyway, and I realized the storm to its south was way more powerful, and I decided to go chase it instead of this tornado. I start driving west to hopefully get a perfect interception of this next tornado. Whenever I went back onto the radar map, what I saw horrified me. 2 black pixels in this tornado. That only happens in the most powerful tornadoes in the game. The black pixels were very short-lived though. Basically, the thing I was talking about at this moment was what the best route would be to catch up to this tornado. This is very late in the video to be talking about this, but, you can really only see a little bit of the screen on the left and right side, so I'm sorry about that. I don't really know how to fix it, but I'm going to try to fix it in the next video. In just a second, I will look over to try to find the tornado. Yes, that edge is one of the sides of this monster tornado. And yes, you are looking at that right. That tornado is 1 mile wide. Right here, you can get a better look at the tornado, and yes, that is a monster of a tornado. Apparently, the TIV 2 can't get up a little baby hill that I know that a Mini Cooper could get up. Yes, I know I missed my turn, and the TIV 2 for some reason wasn't powerful enough to get up the hill. But what I didn't realize was that mistake of missing my turn might have been the best mistake I've ever made. The wind field of this tornado was crazy. Right here, I was getting 70+ mile per hour winds. Right here, I was thinking to myself, aw man, I really messed up this interception. But what I didn't realize was this tornado didn't look like it was moving at all. And whenever a tornado doesn't look like it's moving at all, it's heading straight for you. Before the edge of this tornado had even hit, I had made over $200 on each probe. At this point, I was basically just screaming on how powerful this tornado was. I look at the radar and realize this tornado had actually de-intensified a ton. It was only orange TVS. The second time I look at it right here, it actually de-intensified to yellow TVS, and that is very rare for a tornado to de-intensify that quick. I looked at how much money I had and I realized my probes just paid for themselves. If you're unfamiliar with Twisted but want to play the game, I get the probe that costs $1,250 that is called the TwistX Tower Probe. At this point, my chase had come to an end. Thank y'all so much for watching my first Twisted video.